guys, welcome to another audio video, and I'll be reading Genesis 17, and I'll be reading from the King James Version, and it reads thus. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God, walk before me, and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abram, Thou shalt keep my covenant therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man-child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man-child in your generations, he that is born in the house or brought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is brought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abram fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed. And thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought that were bought with his money every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son. And all the men of the house, born in the house and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. Here in this chapter, we see again where Abraham is still doubting God, because when God told him that he would be having a son of his wife Sarah, he was like, I'm 99 and Sarah is 90. How shall we bear a child together? So he was still doubtful, but even though he was doubtful, he still carried out whatever task God gave him, and that shows his faith. And that's why throughout time, Abraham was known as a man of faith. He's a man that shows great faith in God. And so I ask us all to follow in his step. However, that's not the only thing I wanted to discuss from this chapter. We see here where Abraham is actually actioning his part of the covenant with God, where he did as God commanded and had every male member of his household, whether they were born of him or whether they were bought with money, circumcised as he was instructed to do by the Lord. And that in itself is something of significance, because to be somewhat doubtful yourself and to laugh at something that is said, but still you action what you are instructed to do, something that would lead up to that same thing that you doubt is even possible to happen. You do it anyway. You go ahead and do it just the same. And that just goes to show the level of faith that Abraham has. He was indeed a man of great faith. Alright guys, so I want to hear your revelations that you've received, and I want to see your comments down below, okay? And if you have any questions, if you want to contest something I say, I'm open to it. And I just hope that we can grow together, and if we have anything that we do not understand, I want to be able to answer your questions, and I want you to open up yourself also to God for him to answer your questions, because nothing that we do is of our own good or of our own accord, right? We have free will and we can do as we wish, but it's best to operate in the Spirit of God and by the leading of the Spirit of God. Alright, so have yourselves a blessed day. Bye.